friends. I hope you're having a wonderful day. This reading is going to be the mid-month for October 2022 for Taurus. So, what does that mean? The intention is that it is for... Okay, there's the rest of the cards. The intention is that it's for October, mid-month of this year, for Taurus. Now, you can come across this anytime, and the message will probably be suited right for you. So I don't want the time stamps to scare you off. When the message reaches you, it's probably for you. If you find that it's not, feel free to move on, even if you're coming across it in the right time period, right? Right time period. And then as far as the signs go, sometimes the signs are significant to people. So they feel particularly drawn to the reading that's stamped for Taurus because they are a Taurus, or they're dealing with a Taurus, or they have Taurus somewhere meaningful in their birth chart, right? So there's a lot of different ways this could go, a lot of different potentials. What I want to say though is that, again, these readings come to you when they're right for you. So if you're looking at it and you're like, well, that sign doesn't really speak to me, and that puts you off, or you're put off by the particular time period, October, mid-month, 2022. Or you're not a Taurus and you have no affiliation with any kind of Taurus that you care to think about. That's okay. Maybe watch the video if you're drawn to it. And if you're absolutely not, maybe it's put in front of you to check out me as a reader. Or just for you to be introduced to tarot in general. Sometimes even I feel like I'm drawn to a particular video because it's like there's another one in the suggested videos below it that's brought to my attention. So it's an interweaving of a web, right? Again, a lot of possibilities, a lot of different potentials. So take what's right for you and leave the rest. We have that discernment in this life, right? So yeah, do what's right for you. You know you best. On that note, we're going to get started. I have one card here and a couple on the floor. So let me pick those up and I will be right back to dive in. We have the Queen of Pentacles, the Knight of Wands in reverse, and the Queen of Cups in reverse. So something that stands out, I guess. When I get a bunch of the word is not there with me today, but when I get like Queens, Knights, Page, Kings, when the whole reading is like that, one of two things. It is different people in your situation, or it's different parts of yourself. In this particular reading, I am seeing that it's parts of yourself. So take that as you will. That'll be right for some of you and not quite right for others. So if I have time, I'll dive into both, or if it's calling me to, I'll dive into both. But let's go ahead and get started here. We have the Queen of Pentacles, and it's kind of interesting because the way that they're laying here, both queens are just complete opposite diagonals of each other. So they're both looking away from each other, which could indicate a sort of disconnect. And in this particular reading, being the Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups, it's like the things that you're doing and where your focus is lying is not in alignment with the things that you're feeling and the things that you actually want. And that can be a tricky time in life, right? Sometimes we just have to do that. Sometimes we have things that we have to take care of, or things that we need to get done, or whatever. Things that we need to be in those particular moments that don't really allow us to chase our dreams and be our highest self and all those things, right? But there's definitely that disconnect there. And already I'm looking forward to the extended. That'll be on Patreon. You don't have to go there if you don't want to, but it's always an option. But I'm excited because, like I said, there's a lot of possibilities here. So, yeah. With this Queen of Pentacles, you know, the queens in general are just very nurturing energy, but the pentacles in particular can look at home life. It can look at career, material goods that you have, things like that. I'm feeling like you're probably really sturdy in your home life. That's where you come back to, where you have your solace, whether you are the mom of the household or still a kid in the household, or even just on your own. You feel really good there, really safe, and that's a real gift. So I just heard, you know, take the time to show your gratitude for that. So maybe build a gratitude practice every day. I find it to be really helpful, but that was just a message for whoever might have needed that when they come in like that. Anyways, so yeah, that's the Queen of Pentacles. The Knight of Wands in reverse, you know, when they're upright, they're moving quickly. They're really pursuing what they're needing, but especially paired with this Queen of Cups, they fell out together and went straight to the ground. So a lot of times it's like this mix of energy, or it's giving a message itself with both of them put together, right? And I can definitely see that here, where you're just feeling out of sorts, disconnected from the ideas that you've had and your dreams, and like I said earlier, your emotions. And it's like you don't have time for that. But disconnected is the big word that I'm feeling. We were saying both of these together, with the Knight of Wands, it's almost like a very scattered energy. Like you're being pulled a lot of different directions, and it's making your brain really jumbled because you can only be in one place at one time, right? There's only so much that you can do. And I know, you know, in our feminine energies, not male or female, feminine energies, we can multitask and we can get a lot done. And, you know, all of that is true. But at the end of the day, there's really only so much we can do. And it's like there's too much. You're having trouble juggling and holding all of the balls in the air, right? The Queen of Cups points towards like an imbalance in your work life spheres, right? So overall, what I'm getting here is that even though your home is your safe place and you overall feel very good in that realm, and even in your career, this can talk about career too. So everything on the surface does seem very good, but when you get into the energy of it, it's just not balanced. It's not at a deeper level. It's just off, and you're struggling with it. So yeah, let's, I know we've gone into this pretty far. Sorry about that. I know this video is a little more choppy than what I normally like to do. And if you've been watching the last few days, I've felt a little bit chaotic and a little bit all over the place. So certainly I'm relating to this kind of scattered energy that you might be feeling, right? But anyways, so we got the main message there. Let's go ahead and get an advice card from the Oracle. I am using the Oracle of E. It seems to be a good complement that goes with the Rider-Waite for me, because the messages are just simple. They're straightforward. Okay. What do we have for Taurus? That was quick, but there were about 6 in there, and I cannot take 6 cards. So, let's try again. Okay. All right. So again, this deck is very straightforward, and this one says "Hasta la vista, baby." Number 52. I don't know. Maybe that'll mean something to someone. But maybe you're saying goodbye to something, right? I don't feel it so much in the home life. Sometimes saying goodbye in different oracles can come up as like a divorce. I'm not really feeling that. It's more of putting down projects that are not really important to you, or obligations that, you thought were really important and were necessary for you to do, but it was more of an external obligation. Someone else wanted you to do those things. It's not something that you really want to do, and it's not something that brings you any kind of joy. So it's time to say goodbye to those kinds of extra things, right? Now, for a select few of you, I'm also hearing that the thing to say goodbye to is your career. So it might be your workplace that you're just really not happy at. That's okay. Sometimes it's like that, right? And for some of you, I'm feeling this like, how the heck am I going to leave this career? I need a new job. I have a family to support. Or even if you don't have a family to support, you still have bills to pay. In this life, we can't just do what we want to do. It's still important to make ends meet and satisfy our own needs, right? So part of that is having a job to be able to fulfill those needs. But when it's necessary, and when we're in that place that it's just so draining, and you're really not receiving the compensation for all that you do, whether that's putting in a whole ton of hours every single week, going above and beyond, or taking on those extra projects and, really jamming your days full so that your 8 hours gets a whole lot more accomplished than what seems like everyone else does around you. When you're that person in the workplace, you can only do that so long. Especially if you're in a workplace where you don't particularly like it. So if that's you, I would encourage you that, yes, there may be obstacles in the way, and there are always going to be 100 reasons to stay. But know your reasons in this moment to go. And if it's important enough, seize that opportunity and go. Okay, so we're going to dive into this further. Like I said, we're going to do an extended over on Patreon. I'm excited to see where it goes. And if this is where we part ways, that's cool too. Regardless, thanks so much for being here. I really appreciate it. And I hope to see you again soon. Love ya.